Welcome to NFL World, when it first starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And with preseason over and the NFL season just a little over a week away for the teams that play on Sunday, but obviously a week away for the Ravens and Chiefs, we have some interesting news. Let's start with the Cowboys news because there was a lot that went down, including what happened about 2 hours ago. So let's start off with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys have reached a contract extension. This agreement was a 4-year deal, $136 million, $100 million of it guaranteed. And in all those categories, Lamb is like either second or in the top 5 in those categories, except one. The signing bonus is the highest signing bonus that any wide receiver has gotten at $38 million. So what does this mean? Well, he took $34 million, so he's just under Justin Jefferson at 35, which doesn't surprise me, not because I didn't think he could get 35, not even if he couldn't get 36. It was his agents are very good at that, where if they don't get the number, they get right underneath. So that's what they kind of did here. In terms of the guarantee money, he's in the top 5 of non-quarterbacks. I believe he's tied with Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa, or just under Nick Bosa, something like that. And in terms of the signing bonus, he's top 1, of course. I found it very interesting. I only thought about this yesterday, that him and Justin's deals are going to end at the same time. And I think that was reason to do that. And his reason was, look, me and Justin came in together. And I know Justin is always going to be known as the best wide receiver out of that draft class. My job is to make sure that doesn't happen. And how do I do that? Then go and just beat them for 4 straight years and boost my numbers. But the fact that they're going to time it out the same way means he's also not just the one star. There's 2 stars going out. So now it becomes more like a bidding war. So just a little thing to know. Also news on the Cowboys front. DeRon Bland suffered a injury to his foot about a week ago. He had a stress fracture that required surgery, and he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. This is a bombshell. You didn't bring anyone in after this injury. The hope is that Bland will be back for about week 4, week 6 of the NFL season. But it's still a massive injury. You still lost a guy as a starter. Now, you do have some guys that you could put in there, but they just don't have the pedigree. It's not a terrible thing, but they might get tested early and often. And the news that happened today, just about 2 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago, was Dalvin Cook is signing with the Cowboys. This comes after a Monday visit in which the Cowboys said he looked in shape, he looked good, he looked healthy. But Clarence Hill, who covers the Cowboys, who actually played for the Cowboys for a little while, said, look, they visited with him. They liked how good he was in shape. They liked it, but they said practice squad option, not active option. So there was talk of he could have a potential visit with the Colts. Obviously, either he did it yesterday or it didn't happen. didn't have one and chose this option. Dalvin Cook the last year wasn't good, particularly under 3.5 yards per carry, which, if you figure that out, what does that mean? Well, that means every time he touches the ball, he's getting a little under 3.5 yards. So he just barely gets 3 yards a carry. That's not good. That means every time he touches the ball, it's almost a negative play for the offense. But practice squad option, I'm not against it. I just think the better things you could do, personally, you need to add juice to this team. Your running backs are really slow. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and on all kinds of other social media sites have said that this is the 2018 running back. And it is. You can make the bet that CeeDee Lamb had one of his best years in 2018. Dalvin Cook the same. 2024 though. Times change. So that's the news for the Cowboys. Now, let's go to the Rams. And a linebacker. Let me make sure I grab this all right. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. I just want to get this first thing. Okay. The Rams have traded linebacker Ernest Jones to the Titans. Ernest Jones wanted a trade. He requested, he's like, I don't want to be here. I want out. And the team said, yeah, we're on the move. Let's go. Traded him to the Titans. It's the Titans are an interesting team, if you look at it. Not a bad team, an interesting team. And if you look, and I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again today, and I'll say it again tomorrow. When you have a player like this, when you don't want to be the guy who said, okay, we traded them to this team, a team that we have to play 2 times a year. We don't want to do that. Let's not do that. So let's trade him to out of the conference into a division that if we only have to play him once, we're fine. We don't want him, but we're fine with it. That's what the Rams did. So it's not a horrible thing. Moving on to the Chiefs, and then we're gonna hit some rapid fire cuts that were or moves that were made. Okay. First thing is we talk Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster reunites with the Chiefs, I should say. 1-year deal, probably very little money. He very much underimpressing New England. And I think the reason he did was he was not what they expected at that point. And I think you understand this. You have a young quarterback who is struggling. You have a good ground game, but you have no one that can spread the field. So you bring in a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He's not. There's times he's gotten injured, so he's missing time. He's messing up on the little things. You're asking him to do things he's not fully comfortable with. It doesn't work. Not every player works in every system. If you've been around football long enough, you know that. That's the same with this. So Juju reuniting with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, can't hurt, can't hurt. But, I don't think it's really much of an uptick. Notable cuts, Kansas City released Kadarius Toney, as in it was just nothing that's going to happen with that. It wasn't going to work. Not a bad deal for Toney, though. He got 2 Super Bowl rings. Um, Frank Gore Jr. was cut, was re-signed to the Bills as a practice squad option, so that is good for Frank Gore Jr. and the Gore family. Um, Continuing on here, make sure. Okay. One more thing. See, my iPad's so slow here. I'm not using my phone. Okay. Okay. Tim Patrick, who played for the Broncos, he's had those really bad injuries. He signed with the Lions after being released. They tried to trade him, nothing happened of it. Jahan Dotson was traded from the Commanders to the Eagles for very little. Just right now, the Steelers named Russell Wilson the starting quarterback. So there's a lot going down. Yesterday, in some news involving the Cowboys and Chiefs, the Cowboys traded their third string tight end that they were planning to cut and Peyton Hendershot to the Chiefs for very little in return. Look, you're getting rid of him. Get something for him. Why not? Doesn't matter. Actually, surprised they were able to. Let me make sure. AJ Dillon placed on season-ending IR for the Green Bay Packers. Neck injury. And I don't know if you recall this. When they didn't bring Aaron Jones back, but they brought back AJ Dillon and then go and got Josh Jacobs, we all thought that was pretty good of them. I don't think any one of us thought, though, what if AJ gets hurt? Which is what happened. The thing that AJ Dillon's had issues with is his health. He's not been a healthy player. Him losing out on 2024 is a massive loss, even though he just would have been a rotational back. Nick Chubb going to remain on the physically unable to perform list, which is the PUP list, for 4 games. Odell Beckham Jr., the same fate. And let me make sure I get this done finally. Oh yeah, okay, here we do. We'll do two kicker changes. Hawkinson also on PUP. 2 kicker changes. So Anders Carlson of the Green Bay Packers was let go for Greg Joseph, the former Vikings kicker. And the New England Patriots did a similar thing. As they get rid of, they didn't trade him, they traded a pick for him when they drafted him. They decided to cut Chad Ryland, who was the kicker, formerly of Maryland. They brought in Joey Sly, formerly of the Commanders, they felt was better. So, it happens. Kickers are very, and men play will say the same thing. Kickers, to find a good kicker is very hard because it's all between the ears. It's all right here. What are you gonna do? And that's hard to do. He's not. Ryland really struggled. You can count the fact that there was 2 or 3 games that Ryland did not play well, and that they probably lost those games because of him. Bringing in a guy like Joey Sly, where he has the power, the accuracy can be off sometimes, but he has the power to get it there. Why not? You're rebuilding anyway. Doesn't hurt. Now, next week, we will have our predictions for week 1 of the regular season. But we will also do, of course, if there's breaking news, we'll give it to you. But we will go team by team on records. So stay tuned for that. And maybe, just maybe, I have a good record for your team. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.